What's good, YouTube? It's your boy TSO Sage and I'm back with another video. Now, outside of his debut in the 2008 to 2009 season, we're talking about a franchise that has only missed the playoffs one time. Oh, but shit, bro, it hasn't even been 20 fucking seconds. I'm clearly not referring to their time as the Seattle Supersonics. The same way I talk about playoff P stats and or record, and some of y'all be like, oh my god, you forgot about the series with LeBron and Indiana, blah, blah, blah. Clearly talking about all series after he named himself Playoff P. But back to the subject at hand, it's safe to say that this Thunder franchise run by Sam Presti, who man we'll get to in a minute, has been run rather well, to be honest. However, it hasn't been perfect and it damn well hasn't been perfect this season. Hence why it's about to be the third time they don't make the playoffs. And why did it come to this? Well, let's find out. So without further ado, if you guys like the video, don't forget to like the video and let's get right to it. So how are the Thunder just suddenly not a playoff team? And in the grand scheme of things, Sam Presti is definitely getting a lot of praise right now, which we will definitely get to the good side in a minute, trust. But we cannot sit here and ignore the fact that he had not one, not two, but three former MVPs on his team, and somehow none of them play for you today? Like, are you shitting me? And look, dog, we know the typical narratives, okay? Presti didn't want to pay James Harden, which is really fucked up because he sacrificed his own talent and came off the bench. And the Brody drove out Kevin Durant. And I'm not about to sit here and say I don't believe any of those things at all, but I just want to throw out another idea because I've always thought this. I'm not saying it's 100% correct because does my name look like Sam Presti? No. But is it crazy to say that he chose Russ with every important situation? Had he just been like, look, I'm not letting none of you go. Y'all two are going to be on the court at the same time. Figure it out. And I obviously have hindsight here, but he could have also smoked that Russ back. Imagine instead of Russ and KD, it was Harden and KD. Speaking of KD, it's obvious that he wanted to go to a dynasty. And he did not believe that was going to happen in OKC with Russell Westbrook. And sure, it's very debatable that KD just leaves regardless. But if I'm Sam Presti and I know for a fact he doesn't really believe in Russ to win with, Russ, pack it up. But instead, at least to me, it was all like, y'all really ain't gonna make this work. And again, this is all headcanon. This is my personal belief. I'm not fucking Sam Presti. But I think this is backed up with the fact that once KD left, signing Russ became this major priority. Oh, but Sage, he couldn't just lose Russ too? That's a fair point, and I would chalk it up to that. But we're talking about Sam Presti here. The same guy who has 34 fucking draft picks. You're telling me he had Russ on the team, knew he wasn't winning a championship, and kept him just to make the playoffs? That does not sound like the same guy to me, but I'm gonna let it rock. Okay, but what about Paul George? One, what about Paul George? And two, again, he's choosing Russ. But after, what was it, 3 straight first round exits? I think he registered that, okay, Russ is not the guy. But I guess you could just call that a little TSO theory. And I know for a fact some of you are gonna somehow be triggered by the least toxic thing I've ever said on this channel ever. For sure gonna be some of you that's like, oh my god, Sage, you didn't even read your articles, you're so fucking stupid. Grr. So I just want to state for the last time, my name is not Sam Presti. I am not calling this facts. I don't wholeheartedly believe this, but it's just something that I've thought of several times. But theories aside, I pretty much broke down how the Thunder got here. You lost Kevin Durant and James Harden for nothing. You tried to fight the fight, Sam, and I respect you for that. But your ticket to Wooville was inevitable. Now, how do they get out of Wooville? How do they fix this? Wait, this is the part of the video that I know everyone wanted me to talk about. Can we start off with the fact that in that Paul George trade, you can basically just switch Paul George's name for Serge Ibaka? Cause Serge got you Ersan, Vic, and Sabonis. Vic and Sabonis got you Paul George. And Paul George not only got you 5 first and 2 pick swaps, Paul George got you SGA. SGA being a 6'6" guard that can play the 2 or the 1. And I'm not about to be a cornball and say one day he's gonna be the best player in the world. But the ceiling is sky high. A lot of your stat whiz, b-ball indexes, my life people will tell you that SGA is just such a negative defender. But I don't look at SGA as like a come up. Like, I don't look at SGA as, all right, bet, give him a bucket. You know what I mean? I don't look at him like a big ass baby. Like, he's okay. I wouldn't call him barbecue chicken, but he could be a little barbecue bite sometimes. No cap. Either way, I'm certain he's gonna tighten up on that end soon. But on the offensive end, I mean, my goodness. Dude is giving you 24, 6, and 5 on 51-42 splits. In terms of talent, very sneaky athletic, has a real nice handle, can finish inside and for sure knock down a 3. And my personal favorite thing about him is that he's so fucking clutch. Oh, but Sage, wait, didn't you say he was overrated? I'ma say it until you register it. Just because someone is overrated doesn't mean I don't like him. Just because I don't put him above a guy who can drop 70. Just because I don't put him in front of a guy who's having one of the better scoring seasons in history. Or a guy who's elite at everything except shooting the damn ball. You get my fucking point. Just because I don't call him the king of the young all-stars, which by the way, he's not an all-star, doesn't mean I'm a Shea hater, doesn't mean I don't like him, and it doesn't mean I don't think he will never be better than them. I fucking love Shea. Shea. And I'm certain one day he'll be arguably a top 10 player for sure. But you know who I like more? Lou motherfucking Dort. Oh my God, he's one of my favorite players in the league. Obviously, he's not better than Shea, but I just love the fact he went from one of those players that people dare to shoot to now he's shooting 6 threes a night at 33%, which isn't phenomenal, but that's growth, my nigga, and I'm all for it. And defensively, oh my goodness. If Shea ever gets half of Lou Dort's defense, it's up, let alone if Shea gets a roster. If you haven't noticed by now, the other two videos I talked about how the teams play, but with the Thunder, it's no need to dissect that because they're kind of doing it on purpose. Like, I'm not about to sit here and expose how they're losing games when their intent is to lose games, but Shea is just that fucking good. Like, seriously, the team can't shoot at all, and they're intentionally sitting out Horford, who's at worst the third best player, because Sam Presti's a draft whore, and I love it. No cap, let me come correct, that's Sam Westy, my nigga. 34 fucking draft picks, bro. Like, I was gonna think of multiple options for what to do, but it's so obvious what you do here. SGA is untouchable. You do not move SGA no matter what. Even though I don't necessarily rank him better than those players, the fact that he's getting compared to some of the best young all-stars in the league is saying something, especially when it's in the middle of his third fucking season. Dude went from a 35% three-point shooter to a 42. Like, bro, what are we talking about? Do not pack SGA up. Lou Dort, I can't call untouchable, but you rather keep him because you know for a fact that one day he's gonna give you the type of basketball that helps you in championships. Let alone is he getting better almost exponentially as well. I'm not gonna lie, this is probably gonna trigger some Thunder fans, but when it comes to Darius and Theo, I must be honest here. They play basketball. I mean, I don't really give a fuck about him, to be honest. I'm not gonna hold you. I know he's young, duh, and the West point guard position is stacked, but Theo's by far and wide the worst starting point guard in the West. And I hope with me boasting about Anthony Edwards, y'all know for a fact that I look at the player. I don't just look at his inefficient ass stats, but I don't see him becoming a bucket anytime soon. I mean, if I'm wrong, cool. I'm just not really high on either of them, to be honest. But I tell you one thing, Sam would pack him up for a pick in a heartbeat. And let me get back on subject here. That's why the Thunder really just need to wait. Like, you have 34 fucking picks. What are you gonna do? Miss 3 times 5 years in a row? You'd still have multiple picks at that point. The Thunder could dead ass miss on like the first 3 years of their picks and just say fuck it and trade the other picks. They're gonna be good regardless. Oh, but Sage, why are they in a team's down terrible episode? Well, I mean, right now they're down terrible and it's just the fucking title of the series. But I'm not gonna hold you, and let me conclude with this, because what the fuck else am I gonna talk about? And I guess this is gonna be a little hot take for you, even though it really shouldn't be, but the Thunder aren't necessarily nuking it up. They aren't tanking. Because the way they're set up, they literally don't have to. Like, this year, obviously they're tanking, I just said that. But what I'm saying is, like, next year, I really don't expect them to. I think it's gonna shock a lot of people how fast this team gets good. Even with Al Horford basically eating up $30 million, this team is rich. They can go the max route, but I don't really think they're even gonna do that. They're gonna sign a bunch of young promising talent, or they're gonna sign their role players on long-term deals right now so that they look cheap later down the line. And also, let's not be trolls and say they're gonna miss on all their damn picks. By virtue, they're going to draft proper talent, and I'm not necessarily gonna call them contenders or anything, but I say this rebuild won't even last more than 2 years. And what I mean by that is in 2 years, if not next year, this team's gonna be competitive once again. I just hope people don't think it's some kind of Houston situation where we gotta wait 5 years down the line. Which, by the way, Houston, I don't know if it's gonna be the next video or not, but whoo-wee! But either way, the Thunder are certainly a team that's fun to watch right now, and damn well fun to watch later. But perhaps not this season, or the next season, and maybe I'm wrong, not even the season after that. They could fucking tank. But one of these days, the Thunder are gonna be back. And oh my God, when they do, it's gonna be up and stuck, my nigga. But that's gonna do it for today's video. It's been your boy TSO Sage. Oh, but Sage, I'm still triggered. You said SGA's not better than Ben Simmons and Zach LaVine and D-Mitch. If you scroll below to the bottom, you should see that like button that you should push. Then below that, you should see that sub button you should push. But then below that, you'll see the pinned comment, which I'll list like a good 5-6 players on. One of those players, of course, including SGA, and y'all can feel free to rank them below. I'll try my best to debate you guys like I always do, but to be honest, I don't really care because it's not the point of the fucking video. But with all that being said, if you guys like the video, like the video. If you like my content, subscribe. Why the fuck you watching my shit and you're not subscribed? And it's me, boy TSO Sage. I'ma holla at y'all tomorrow. Take care and stay blessed.
It's young Phenom, yeah, I got the cannon. If a nigga talk too much, I gotta blame him. I wonder where the hate come from. Gotta be a dum-dum, undercover someone. You one of my children, is it the paper, the moolah, the haters, the rumors, the leaked news of me and your shorty in Kama Sutra? I might just shoot ya, guns blazing, my little Ruger. It's not a blooper, in the Honda I just maneuver. Italian spot where they serve my fettuccine. Make sure my linguine super steamy and not too creamy. Toasty panini, couple bites of tortellini. I'm feeling dreamy, phone buzzing, she wanna see me. On my way to the biddy, you know the vibes, bro. My drip is hydro, big waves up in my Tado. I'm in a Tahoe, big body Uber on Tom Ho. While me and my driver talking bullshit, smoking tobacco.